Good day, everyone. I am Sunshine C. Paharan, and for today's discussion, I will be presenting about culture with family planning. This topic is very important not only for the licensure examination for teachers, but also for us as a future educators who will guide learners in understanding values, society, and responsible decision making. Before we begin, let me ask you a question. Have you ever wondered why some families prefer many children while others choose to have only one or two? Why do some people strongly follow traditions while others are open to change? The answer is culture. Cultures plays a big role in shaping how people think, behave, and make decisions, especially about family, parenting, and relationships. So by the end of this video, you should be able to learning objectives. This, by the end of this video, you should be able to define culture and identify its key components and characteristics, explain how cultural beliefs and practices influence family behaviors and decision making. Next, and describe what family planning is and identify different methods used in various cultures, and analyze how responsible parenthood is shaped by cultural expectation, norms, and values. So now let's start of what is culture. Culture is a shared way of life of a group of people. It includes beliefs, traditions, values, behaviors, and practices passed from one generation to another. So a person does not automatically know culture when they are born. It is learned slowly while growing up through family, school, religion, and community. For example, a Filipino child learned to say po and opo, respect elders through manu, celebrate fiestas, and value close family relationships. These habits become part of a person because they are taught and practiced every day. And now let's proceed to the components of culture. There are two components of culture: the material culture and non material culture. So, material culture, these are objects that represent how people live and what they value. So, for example, a Bahay Kubo shows a simple and nature connected lifestyle. So, it refers to the physical things that people create and use in their daily lives. These are objects that can be seen and touched, and they show how people live and what they value. For example, it includes mga houses, clothes, tools, appliances, vehicles, and gadgets. A Bahay Kubo shows simple lifestyle of Filipinos in the past, while modern houses and cell phones shows how people live today. And the jeepneys also reflect Filipino creativity and transportation. And also old tools found in museum are also part of material culture because they show how ancient people worked and survived. So next proceed to the second component of culture, which is the non-material culture. Non-material culture, this is the heart of culture, beliefs and values people follow. This includes respect, religion, morals, and gender rules, and parenting styles. So for example, there are some parents strict because they believe discipline builds success. So like for me, my parents are strict because they want me to success. And there are some families believe children should not answer back to elders. So that means that we need to respect elders. We need to mano and elders. And there are some cultures expect mothers to stay home to work, while fathers work. So that is non-material culture. It is only we respect our elders, need to value and respect them. For example, a family may choose not to use artificial family planning because of religious beliefs. Because there are some mga religious belief na they can't um, dili sila pwede mag-use of mga artificial family planning. So next, let's proceed to the characteristic of culture. First is culture is learned. Culture is something a person is born with. It is learned through experience and observation. Children learn how to speak, behave, and treat others by watching their parents and the people around them. For example, a child learns to say thank you, to pray, and to show respect because these are taught at home and in school. So culture is learned. Next is culture is transmitted. Culture is Culture is passed from one generation to another, so transmit to one generation to another. Parents teach traditions, beliefs, and practices to their children, so this will continue in the future. Grandparents also share stories, customs, and values that help keep culture alive. So in your experience, your your grandparents share us a story about the history in the past, or what is the culture in the past. So that is the characteristic of culture. Next is culture is adaptive. So this culture changes as time change. People adjust their way of living based on new technology, environment, and modern needs. Before, people communicated through letters, but now they use cell phones and social media. So as times goes by, we adopt the new culture today, which is the technology. So now we use cell phones and social media to communicate with the people far from us. So these changes show how culture adapts to new situations. So the next is culture is an integrated whole. All parts of culture are connected to each other. Beliefs, traditions, values, and behavior influence one another. For example, a religion may affect how people dress, how they celebrate events, and how they raise their children. Next is culture is shared. Culture is common among members of the same society. So we can pwede ta mo shared sa atong culture among the members of our same society. Many people follow similar traditions and practices. For example, many Filipinos eat rice every day, celebrate Christmas with family, and enjoy singing karaoke during gatherings. So cultures, pwede ta mo share to other people who have different cultures from us. So that is the characteristic of culture. So now let's proceed to the issues in understanding culture. So cultural diversity means the presence of different cultures in one place. Cultural diversity means people have different ways of living. In one classroom, students may come from different provinces, speak different dialects, or have different traditions. Some may celebrate certain festivals that others do not. This shows that even in one school, there can be many cultures. So, um, for example, in the classroom, there are many students. So, each students have different cultures. So there are some and different religions. There are some Catholic, born again, INC. So some of those religions are um, they cannot celebrate festival and any gatherings. So now let's proceed to the high culture. High culture refers to practices of wealthy or educated groups. For example, some families prioritize piano lessons, art classes, and private schools. So these are influenced by high culture because ang high culture it refers to activities that are more formal and often connected to educations. Students may experience this when they visit museums during field trips, watch stage plays, or join academic competition. So, sa high culture, the priority mga some activities. So, these activities are considered more formal and educational. So next, let's proceed to popular culture. Popular culture is what most people follow. So, example, social media trends, K-pop, TikTok dances, and online parenting advice. These are very popular today. It is we call it popular culture because popular culture is what most students enjoy every day. Watching TikTok videos, listening to trending songs, playing online games, and following social media influencers are all examples that students can easily relate to. That is popular culture. Next is the subculture. Subculture is a smaller group within a larger culture. For example, youth groups, religious communities, and tribal groups. These smaller groups within a bigger culture. In school, this can be seen in groups like athletes, honor students, K-pop fans, gamers, or campus journalists. Each group may have its own interests, style, and activities, but still belong to the same school community. Since us, we have different interests, man. For example, in the classroom, students have different interests. So, we need to give them a differentiated activities so that it can cater their learning styles or interests. So they cannot get bored in the activities. Next is counterculture. It refers to people who choose to be different from what society normally accepts. For example, a student refuses to follow common fashion trends and choose a very unique style may be seen as a part of a group that wants to stand out from a usual. That is a counterculture. It rejects common beliefs. Next is the cultural change. Cultural change changes over time. So this means that culture change over time. For example, before some so cultural change, for example, is before families had 7 to 10 children, and now many prefer 1 to 3 children. Why? Because of cost of living, education expenses, career goals, and technology also changes culture. For example, young couples now research family planning online. So they can watch online na because of technology. So now let's move to cultural relativism. This is very important. Please remember this word. Cultural relativism, ethnocentrism, and sinocentrism. Cultural relativism evaluates a culture by its own standard. So it means that respecting other people's culture. In school, this can be shown when students respect classmates who speak a different language or follow different traditions. Instead of laughing or judging, they try to understand and accept them. So that is cultural relativism. We need to respect our classmates' culture of okay, since we have different language man to speak. So we need to respect them. That is cultural relativism. Next is ethnocentrism. It evaluates other culture by the standards of one's own culture. So this happens when someone believes their culture is better than others. So for example, a student might say that their dialect, food, or province is better than others. This attitude can cause misunderstanding. So ethnocentrism, that is ethnocentrism. You believe that your culture is better than the other culture. And lastly is sinocentrism. It refers to preference for foreign things. So this is when someone thinks foreign culture is better than their own. For example, a student who prefers foreign food, music, or products and think local ones are not good is showing sinocentrism. So sinocentrism is it refers mga foreign things, foreign food, music, and products. So that is shown as sinocentrism. So please remember that. So since we are done in the culture, so let's proceed to family planning. Now let's go deeper into family planning because this is one of the most important parts for let and real life. So what is family planning? Family planning is a national mandated priority public health program to attain the country's national heart development, and it is a health intervention program and an important tool for the improvement of the health and welfare of mothers, children, and other members of the society. So family planning is a process of deciding how many children to have, when to have children, and how to space pregnancies. So this help improves the health of mothers, children, and families. So why is family planning important? So in your own words or in your own so why is family planning important? It's because the real reason is to avoid financial problems, to protect mother's health, and to provide better education for children, and to prepare emotionally. So, for example, a couple decides to wait 3 years before the next baby so the mother can recover. So, that is called birth spacing. So, that is family planning. We need to plan for our family how many children are we going to have. So, um, are we emotionally prepared? Hatag batag better education sa atong students, ay sa atong child rather. So now let's talk about the methods of family planning. So in methods of family planning, there is a natural family planning, which means it refers to method used to plan and prevent pregnancy based on identifying the woman's fertile days. For all natural methods, avoiding unprotected intercourse during the fertile days is what prevents pregnancy. So, the natural family planning, in simple terms, these methods do not use medicine or devices. They depend on body awareness. This also known as fertility awareness based methods. So, in natural family planning, there is two-day method. This means that relies on simple algorithm to help women identify when they are fertile based on the presence or absence of cervical secretions. So, this method involves observing body signs to know when pregnancy may happen. Students can relate by understanding that the human body has natural patterns and cycles that can be studied and observed. The second is symptoms based. The three primary signs of a woman's fertility are her basal body temperature, her cervical mucus, and her cervical positions. This involved checking body changes like temperature. So, in simple terms, it is like observing signs in the body, just like how students observe signs when they feel sick, such as having a fever. Next is calendar base. Remember this natural method. Calendar base is based on a record of the length of previous menstrual cycles. This method involves tracking dates, so you need to track the dates of your menstrual cycles. Students can relate this because they use calendars to remember school events, exams, and deadlines. In the same way, couples use calendar to track body cycles. The next is lactational amenorrhea method or LAM. This method of avoiding pregnancy based on the natural postpartum inferiority that occurs when a woman is amenorrheic and fully breastfeeding. This method involves breastfeeding after childbirth. Students may have seen their mothers or you have for example, you have seen your mothers or relatives taking care of a baby and breastfeeding, which is part of a natural child care. So that is a lactational amenorrhea method is to to avoid pregnancy. Then lastly of natural method is a withdrawal or coitus interrupts, a contraceptive method that prevents fertilization by preventing the contact between sperm and egg. So this method involves self-control to prevent pregnancy. So this withdrawal is this method um, compared to self-discipline, like controlling themselves from doing something they know is not allowed, so that it can prevent pregnancy. Since we are done with natural method, let's proceed to the artificial methods. These use medicine or devices. This also help prevent pregnancy. Students can look by understanding that medicine can help control certain body processes, just like how vitamins help keep the body strong. So first is the oral contraceptive or the pill. Use of synthetic hormones, progesterone and or estrogen, like those produced by the body to regulate the menstrual cycle. So some of our parents they use pills so that they can prevent pregnancy. So that is oral contraceptives or the pill that is used to prevent used to help prevent pregnancy. So next artificial methods is male condom. So I know that you are familiar with this um, word, with this male condom. So it made out of latex or rubber, but polyurethane and tactylon, both plastic, are also available. I know that kita na mga ni siya nga kuan thing, condom. So this is a protective covering. In simple understanding for students, it is life protection used to prevent problems, just like wearing a raincoat to avoid getting wet. So male condom, you know na how to use this. Next is the female condom, a polyurethane or plastic sheath with an inner ring that fits inside the vagina around the cervix like the diaphragm and an outer ring that covers outside the labia. So female condom, it is also act as a protection. So we put it inside the vagina around the cervix like the diaphragm so that it can prevent pregnancy. So that is it's same as male condom and female condom. Next is the intrauterine device or IUD, a small plastic device which is placed in the uterus by a clinician. It is a reversible method of birth control given only by prescription. So IUD, I know you are familiar with this word IUD. I know that. Your parents use this, I think. So this is a device placed by a doctor to prevent pregnancy. Students can relate to the idea that some health tools are placed or used by medical professionals to help people stay safe. So next is cervical cup. A cervical cup, a soft rubber cup-like device that is snugly around the base of the cervix. This is a small device that blocks sperm. It works like a cover that prevents something from entering, just like a lid covers a container, the cervical cup. Last is vasectomy or male sterilization. This is a surgical procedure that prevents pregnancy by blocking the passage of sperm into the seminal fluid. This is nagamit um, sa mga men. This is a medical procedure for men. Um, you can relate this that some medical procedures are done to help manage health and future plans, just like surgery is done for other health reasons. So vasectomy, this is blocking the passage of sperm into the seminal fluid so that you can avoid being pregnant. Since we are done with the family planning, let's proceed to the Republic Act 10354, the Responsible Parenthood and Reproductive Health Act of 2012. So what is this act all about? So now let's tackle this. Republic Act 10354, the Responsible Parenthood. This is a legislation that provides universal access to quality reproductive health care services, method, devices, supplies, and relevant information and education. This law was created to make sure that all people, especially couples and families, can get proper health services and correct information about reproductive health. It helps people learn about family planning, pregnancy care, and ways to protect the health of mothers and children. In simple terms, the goal of this law is to help families make safe and informed decisions about having children and to make health services available to everyone, especially the poor. So remember this Act, the Responsible Parenting and Reproductive Health Act of 2012. So there are mga key principles of this act. First is a freedom of choice, which is respect for protection and fulfillment of reproductive health and rights. This means couples have the right to decide how many children they want and when they want to have them. No one should force them to choose a certain method. Next is right to non-fraudulent information on reproductive health, including family planning. So this means right to correct and honest information. People have the right to receive true and clear information about reproductive health and family planning. This helps them make wise decisions. Next is abortion is illegal and is punishable by law. So the abortion is illegal. Next is a partnership or ideal for enhanced provision and necessary reproductive health services and a multifaceted sustainable development process. So let's proceed to what is responsible parenthood. Each family has the right and duty to determine the desired number of children they might have and when they might have them. So it means that parents taking care of their children's needs. Students experience this daily when their parents work hard to provide food and send them to school and help them with assignments and guide them in making good decisions. Then respect for life. The 1987 Constitution states that the government protects the sanctity of life. Abortion is not a family planning method. It means valuing every person. Students show this by avoiding bullying, helping classmates, and treating others kindly. Lastly is birth spacing. It refers to the interval between pregnancy, which is ideal 3 years. So it means waiting before having another child so parents can focus on caring for the first one. Students can relate if there is a big age gap between siblings. And lastly is informed choice upholds and ensures the rights of couples to determine the number and spacing of their children. So now that we fully understand culture and family planning, let us apply these ideas to real life classroom and situations. So for example, my parents don't believe in modern family planning. As a teacher, what should you do? So you must respect their beliefs. So can you think of an example in your own community? So to end this video, I want to remind you as future teachers, we are not just teaching subjects, we are teaching people from different cultures. We must respect differences, promote understanding, encourage responsible decisions. Thank you so much for watching. Keep reviewing, keep learning, and keep preparing for the lot. I believe you will all become great and culturally sensitive educators. Good luck and God bless future teachers.